Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
So, this week,
Ugh.
the tables were turned.
Yep.
Gloriously.
Well,
Anime, bye-bye. I've never watched any more Cowboy Bebop, I'm going to be honest.
yep, I didn't think you would. I believe I told you that at the end of the last episode. When
No,
you said, well, you might.
the thing
and I said,
is,
no, you won't.
I nearly did, and then you tried to reverse psychology me, and I thought, nah, fuck it.
Except that I didn't try. Like, in all seriousness, like I said last episode, I wasn't trying to reverse psychology you. I had already given up on you ever watching it.
Our listeners
You
can
then
be the
convinced
judge of that.
yourself that I was trying to play mind games, but there is a moment in the last episode, I don't know because I haven't listened back to it yet, but there is a moment where I give up on you so much that I collapsed onto my bed and started looking out the window because I was like, he's not going to watch it, I don't know why I'm trying.
So now we have something that's a little bit of a different change of pace, isn't
Yeah,
it?
because instead of Liam coming out of it being like, I don't like it, it's the opposite.
It's now Jack coming out here. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So what? Let's come on, tell the listeners what it was that you had to do this week. Well,
Liam
we
forced
had
us
to
to
do.
watch a movie called Mutual Appreciation, which is part of the Mumblecore movement, which is shit.
So I know you did a little bit of research around this. I'm very proud of you.
Because I was trying to figure out if you were telling the truth about this being a representation of the rest of the genre.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise that was why you were doing the research.
Well, it's because I honestly couldn't believe that there'd be a genre based around what this film was based around.
So did you think that I just told you this film just to be like, lol?
No, I just thought maybe you'd got it wrong, and someone else out there would be like, oh no, it's one of those, like, people that are into it think Mutual Appreciation's the best example, but really it's this film.
And what
But
did
it
you
wasn't.
find out?
Everyone thinks Mutual Appreciation is a great example of this subgenre.
Yeah, it really is.
Slash genre.
It really is. So yeah, go on. What from what the research you did? Well, before we get to that,
I read a Wikipedia page, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It wasn't research.
Before you did that, going into this film, what did you know about it?
I knew it was Mumblecore.
Yeah, and what did you know about Mumblecore?
I knew that you've talked about it before.
So
I knew it was done on a cheap budget.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's no problem.
That's probably about it. Like, you've told me stuff about it before, but I tune you out sometimes.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So now that you've seen it and you've done a little bit of research, what can you tell us now about Mumblecore?
From what I understand,
Yeah.
Mumblecore is done on a cheap budget, and it's really cheap. It's half of it's like improv,
Yeah.
because I guess they can't afford script writers because of the cheap budget thing, or they're just lazy.
Or maybe it just gives it a more kind of natural
They
feel.
think they're being, like, artistic-y, but
Yeah.
they're not. It's the same way that sometimes an artist gets a bit mental and, like, just throws some paint on a canvas and goes, I've done art, and other artists go, oh yeah, you have done art, and then he goes, I'm real good at art, and they go, yes, you are the best art.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Mumblecore is.
Okay. So very artistic.
No, not artistic. The opposite of artistic. No skill at all, just film some bullshit, release it, and convince film lovers that it's a thing they should watch.
Okay. And
Scummy is a word I'd like to throw at it. I'm not sure who in the process, but someone in it is definitely scummy. There's just a general someone on this film.
There's an
is
argument to
scum.
be made that one of the characters is even.
Oh,
a bit
I don't care
scummy.
about the character. Just I'm talking generally the production crew. Somewhere there's a scumbag. I don't know.
So Mutual Appreciation, directed by Andrew Bajowski.
I don't know who that is. Yeah,
There's a director.
he was also an actor in it.
He was. Yep. He played a character called Lawrence in it. We'll get there.
Yep.
What can you tell me about the plot of the film?
A 20-something-year-old, 30 maybe.
No, 20-something.
Okay, 20-something-year-old goes to New York because he wants to be a musician. He meets some people that are like, you could be a musician. He has some money problems. Calls his dad. His dad's like, you should probably get an actual job. The son goes, no, I don't want to get a job. I want to be a musician. I have a gig. And then his dad goes, okay, well, if you're sure. And then he gets into more money troubles, and his dad goes, yeah, son, we're getting, like, overdrawn notices on your credit cards, which apparently you haven't changed the address for because you're not actually an adult, you're a child. And then his dad's like, maybe you should really get a job. I can legitimately get you a job. And the son's like, meh, music. And then he nearly fucks his mate's girlfriend, and then his friend forgives him, and then everyone's happy, and it's bullshit.
What part did you find to be most bullshit?
I just summarised that whole film in 10 seconds. It's a 2-hour film.
It's not. It's an hour 40.
It's bullshit.
What?
It's actually, no, it's an hour 50 because it's an hour 55 with 5 minutes of credits because they trick you into thinking it's going to have long credits and maybe it'll end sooner, but it doesn't.
Mine is an hour 48.
What? Where did I got 5 minutes extra. Great.
I wonder what the extra was.
Maybe I didn't. I might have just been... Maybe it felt like an extra 10 minutes.
I don't know. But, so, that was a good description of the plot. Thank you. What did you like about it?
Nothing.
That's a lie.
The music.
The music.
Which isn't even the point of the film. I think there's 2 songs played in the film, maybe.
There is, yeah.
And they're both good. That's it.
Maybe not even 2 songs. Maybe like 1.5.
No, I think he plays one of his old songs and then he plays that new track that he's been coming up with.
Oh, okay.
Also, it's good music, but it's like poor musicianship. He's like, I need a drummer. And the drummer comes in and he's like, can you do good stuff? And the drummer's like, yeah. And then he's like, don't do that. Do this bad stuff that I came up with.
Okay. What did you not like about it then?
Everything else. The characters. I don't like the characters. They're not likable. I don't like the attitude. I don't like that the story's shit and is basically a month in the life of some 20-year-olds. I don't care. I don't like that it's all black and white. I get that it's a low budget, but you don't have to do it in black and white to prove that. I didn't like the quality. It felt like I was watching a student film. I didn't like the fact that they live in that one couple lives in an apartment without a bed, and then the guy that moves to New York with basically no money has a real bed. I don't understand why. Maybe the couple that have money, one of them's a fucking teacher. Maybe he should buy a bed for once. I don't like the fact that Lawrence gets over the fact that Alan and Ellie try and hook up, and he's just like, it doesn't matter to me, I still love her. And Ellie's like, oh, I'm so glad. And then they have a group hug. Because that's not weird, and no one should feel uncomfortable if you're having a group hug with a guy that just tried to fuck your girlfriend. It's ridiculous, Liam.
Oh.
I think I've summarised most of my issues with the film.
Okay. Yeah. I think you might have done. So, here's what I liked about it.
Go on. Listeners, I'm genuinely... Whilst I sound like I hate it, I've been saying to Liam since I watched it, I genuinely want to understand why he likes it. Like, not in a mean way, not in my usual argumentative way.
Yeah.
I legitimately want to know why Liam likes this film.
Now, I want to preface this by saying, one, I've always found it really hard to justify why I like stuff, but I'll try my best.
I know, I do the same. It's like with the anime. I always struggle to say why I liked it.
Exactly. And number 2, it's going to be real fucking hard for me to talk about this without sounding too film snobby.
I think it's fine. I think we should give you an allowance to be a bit film snobby in this one. Because I feel like that's what this genre is.
Yeah, I would agree. This genre, to me, definitely feels like it is the sort of genre that... I wouldn't say it's made for film fans.
No.
But I would say film fans might find more to appreciate within it. Like, this is 110% not the sort of film that you could just show to, like, a general audience.
No, definitely.
I don't think it's unfair to say, not that they wouldn't get it, but they wouldn't like it. And that's one of the things that I like about it. Not that it's like, it deliberately tries to be unlikable. I don't think that's what it does. What I like is... As particularly when I first stumbled across this genre, which was maybe like a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
It captures this real post-college, very new to adulting. Like, when you think you grow up through life and you have the school bubble, the high school bubble, then the college university bubble. And each of those bubbles you get given a little bit more responsibility and a little bit more. And then university ends and it's like, right, welcome to the world. And you're like, shit, everything sucks. And these films are very much people at that part of their life trying to figure out what the fuck they're doing. And to me, I can draw a lot of comparisons between these sort of films and coming-of-age films. Obviously, coming-of-age tends to deal with a little bit younger. It'll normally be kids kind of growing up a bit. This, to me, when I first discovered it, very relatable. That I finished university, I've just sort of stumbled into a job that I'm not massively getting a whole lot out of. I feel like I've worked the last 20 odd years of my life, and the kind of things that I thought I was working towards aren't panning out. Now, I understand it's a very sort of millennial kind of problem, although I don't particularly like using that term.
Yep.
This is 100% a sort of subgenre almost. It's very much rooted in American independent film. I think that's undeniable. Like you said, it has a very low budget feel to it. The aesthetic, the quality, it's not quite there. And it doesn't even really have a story most of the time.
No.
What it is, like you said, it's a snapshot of maybe a month or so in these characters' lives. And the characters aren't all necessarily likeable.
None of them are likeable.
I would disagree with that, though.
Who did you like?
I liked Lawrence. I felt really bad for the guy.
I thought, but that's what I mean. He's then sort of doesn't redeem himself. I felt bad for him for most of the film until that end bit. And then I was like, Lawrence, have a go at them.
But the thing is, they didn't really do anything wrong.
No, Alan did. I understand forgiving Ellie, because she's like, I'd nearly made out with it. We nearly hooked up. No, even then, right? You say they didn't do anything wrong, but they 100% did.
What did they do wrong?
they agreed to meet up knowing that their goal was to have sex with each other. Alan let her into his house knowing that she was trying to sleep with him.
Wait, how did they know that?
Liam, she goes, do you want to drive back to your house? He says yes. They get to his house and she goes, I've actually lost your album. Could I grab a copy of it? And instead of just waiting at the door like she's going to, she comes in and sits on his bed.
Has a beer, that's
your
normal.
Your room's really nice. It's not, it's a bad room.
Let's also bear in mind.
So she's got low standards on what makes a nice room because of the whole bed thing.
Let's bear in mind, these two characters are friends. It's not like they've just met and this
No,
has
but
happened.
it's so obvious that they're going to hook up.
So...
And you know they're both thinking it.
Well, they did talk...
I mean, it was obvious, to be fair, it was obvious from the beginning that there was going to be a scene about this, because the way they act towards each other, I was like, Alan is definitely trying to fuck her.
Okay, so... Right. Sorry, I just hit the desk.
In rage?
No, I was just shifting in my chair. Would you say it was badly acted then?
No, not necessarily. Well, it was.
Because I actually really like the acting in this. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know if they do any, like... I don't know if they do enough acting to merit being, like... I'm trying to think of Alan's other emotions, but he just does nonchalant and sad.
And drunk, don't forget.
Oh yeah, like, fuck, what's that scene about? That doesn't make any sense either.
Can we talk about that scene?
Is that the one that's your favourite scene?
No.
Oh.
No. I just have a fun fact about it.
Was he actually drunk?
No.
Oh. That's bullshit.
Let's talk about the scene so people who maybe haven't seen it can catch up.
He gets drunk.
Yeah, it does something that I think is quite weird.
Are we talking about the same that he dresses up as a lady?
Yeah. So he goes to... So his friend, Lawrence, has basically said after his gig, he's gone, we're going to this party, come and join us. He gets sidetracked for a little bit with Sarah, who we need to talk about, and ends up at this party like way after it's all finished. And now it's just three female friends. We kind of join him in the middle of what seems to be quite a deep conversation.
Yes.
And he just sort of comes in. He's already a little bit drunk, but he just sort of makes himself almost at home.
He's very drunk.
Yeah. And then the women obviously decide to dress him up. Now,
of course,
we could, if we wanted to put our film hats on, we could probably read a lot into that. Like, you know,
could we?
Them dressing him up as a woman and what that might say about him and what he's trying to like convey and how the women treat him and how he treats them. Probably a lot to say there, but we don't have to.
I mean, you can if you want.
The fun fact: one of the women, the one that puts the eyeshadow on him, was in a movie called Funny Ha Ha, which is often sort of credited as being the first Mumblecore film.
Okay.
The facts aren't always fun, but they are always facts.
Fucking hell, that's a terrible fact. Liam, did you know that Robert Downey Jr., who plays Iron Man, was also in a film called Due Date?
Yeah, with Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
Can't say
that's not a fun fact. You can't just say an actor was in 2 films. How interesting.
No, alright, here's what is interesting. Those are her only 2 acting roles. Nah, I made it interesting.
That's not interesting.
Fuck you. She's also super hot. Well, not super hot, but like hot enough. Can I say that?
I don't know, but I'm leaving it in.
Cool. Yeah.
Like,
can we talk about Sarah?
Yeah, is that the like radio lady?
Yes, that is the radio lady.
Yeah.
What did you think of their kind of dynamic?
I don't know. Like, nothing. It was mundane.
Because she kind of just launches herself on him.
Well, yeah.
And, you know, later on she's like, oh, well, I'm not looking to have you as my boyfriend. And because he's trying to do that, like, I don't really want this to progress any further. And she's like, I'm very much on the defensive. And when she says, I wasn't chasing you, I didn't want you to be my boyfriend, did you believe that or not?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because I almost felt like she was kind of masking something there. Like, she'd been put on the back foot and she was just trying to save a bit of face.
Oh, I didn't think so. I thought she was actually just saying that.
Fair enough.
She says it very matter-of-factly, because he's like, I can't do this. And she's like, I don't want to do this. I just want to keep having sex.
Yeah. The film does have these weird little sort of... It drifts off to these little side stories that don't really play into the main story, which is obviously...
Yeah, I think the term you're looking for is that no one gives a shit about, yeah.
So the main story, I think we can agree, is the fact that Alan and Ellie are friends. Ellie's dating Lawrence. Alan is friends with Lawrence. And they're friends who basically admit to having an attraction to each other. A mutual attraction.
Is that the main plot point? Because that happens in the last, 15 minutes.
Well, no. That doesn't happen. They're building up this mutual appreciation of each other throughout the whole movie.
Oh, I've just got the name of the film. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's sort of what it's about. And like you said, or maybe not, I said maybe, they never actually act on that. They talk about it, and that's my favourite scene. So the one you talked about where she comes into his bedroom, and they're just on the bed, and this is why I think it's well acted. There's clearly chemistry between the two, and they do that thing that people of our generation do, and it is infuriating, but it's very accurate, where they talk around a subject. They're not particularly upfront about it. They'll talk around it, but in a way that you still understand what is essentially being said.
Yeah.
And I personally just love that scene. I feel like it really nicely captures a very kind of accurate portrayal of people our age trying to do this whole adulting thing, trying to have like an adult conversation about something, but also just completely and obviously not really knowing what they're doing.
But I think that's my issue with the whole genre then.
Okay.
Because if I want to watch something factual, right?
Yeah.
I watch a documentary, which is real life.
Yeah.
And then if I want to like watch something that is a break from reality, that's when I watch movies or TV.
Yeah.
Usually. I don't like shit. Because even stuff that's like based on a true story or like, real war stories and shit, like Band of Brothers, is still interesting.
Yeah,
because it's based on real stories and they tell them in an interesting way.
Well, no,
this is based on. This
like,
isn't even based on true stories. This is just based on things that happen to people.
Yeah.
And then they try and make it into a film, and you're like, no.
But don't forget as well, something like Band of Brothers, it's 100% a true story, but it's also based on a very kind of extreme time. Like that's not just like an average day in the life of someone.
That's deliberate. That's because movie makers have realised that to make a film that is interesting and people want to watch, you use stuff that's interesting.
So that's what
this feels like. People are like, I don't know. It's the whole like, you shouldn't just want to watch all this Hollywood stuff. You should be interested in this stuff that we're trying to do with our films. And you're like, no. The reason Hollywood's big is because Hollywood have got it. They figured it out.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. And that's why it's popular, and this isn't popular. But I don't think they're trying to say, well, you should be watching this. I
don't know if they have a message, Lynn. Like, I said that as an example because I really hope that there is a message, because honestly, I didn't get any messages from this film.
I think
it feels like someone I believe the text I sent to you, Liam.
Yeah.
Was it felt like someone had shat in my computer.
Yeah.
Digitized the shit.
Yeah.
And then forced me to watch said digitized shit.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think there is a point to this, potentially. I think
But then what's the point? Why should I watch someone
what it is,
fumbling around? They should call it Fumblecore, because they're fumbling with it.
It's a snapshot of someone's kind of experiences, you know?
But then it's not like an average experience. I'd have got it if they were trying to do an average life, but they're not.
But how are they not?
They sleep on the fucking floor.
Yeah.
We don't. We're 20-somethings. Well, yeah. You're still a 20-something still.
Yeah, still. I've still got a bit of time left for like 20-something.
Yeah.
Year and a bit.
But we're not fucking around sleeping on the floor. My friends that were like low on money and could have ended up in these situations instead did the sensible thing and saved money and went and did shit.
But how many of us like tried to go to London and become musicians?
I'm in London.
Did you try and become a musician?
No.
Exactly.
But what are you talking about? I know kids that are doing music and are getting good at music. Like, there is a point. Most people don't chase their dreams this dogmatically. Like these people who are like I don't understand why he can't face the reality. That's what it just annoys me, Liam, because they don't act like real people.
So that is one of the things. This is clearly not necessarily a real person. It's the people that make this film, who I think are trying to kind of represent a part of their lives, are clearly like very creative types of people.
Oh, I think I've just got it. Oh, God, it's even worse than I thought.
Go on.
Yeah, because they're trying to do the whole... Are they doing the whole, like... Oh, he's trying to pursue music, like how we're trying to pursue filmmaking. Is it one of those things, Liam?
I think you could definitely read that into it.
Oh, then I hate them even more, because if that's their experience of the world, maybe they should grow the fuck up and stop acting like children. And buy a fucking decent camera.
Some of them have gone on to be... Like, people are saying that the mumblecore sort of subgenre is dead, because... the people that made their names in it have gone on to do much better, bigger budgeted things. But
then surely that should be like... Well, I hope it's dead, because I'd hope that they got these big jobs and went, oh, we were acting like kids.
Here's the thing. I think you can possibly draw a lot of comparisons between something like this and something like Clerks. Now, Clerks goes out of its way to be a lot more approachable to a wider audience. Like, it's a comedy, it's scripted, acted, etc., but it's one of those, it's someone doing something with what they can afford, with the resources available to them, trying to tell their story in the best way they know how.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And I think this is trying to do the same thing. Now, like you said, this is not going to have wide appeal.
No.
Definitely not. But I personally love seeing these characters and just spending a little bit of time with them and just seeing them make mistakes and have these weird, awkward conversations. And it's a lot of people would say it's mundane.
Yes.
And I understand that. But it's normality put on screen. And sometimes when you watch a lot of people jumping out of explosions and surviving like death-defying falls, there's a time and a place for that when it is totally needed and it's totally fine. But sometimes it's okay to just watch people being people as well.
But you know what? This would be my counter argument to that.
Okay.
I get that. I get, watching a lot of all this crazy stuff. Maybe every now and again you want some normality.
Yeah.
But you know where else you can find that? In your own fucking life.
No, that's boring. No, we're not though, are we?
Yeah, we are. Because we're not normal by society standards, but you are your own normal. You're your baseline for everything. That's how it works. Because you have the most experience with what you do. So even when you know something you do is weird, it's your normal because you do it. So if you want to watch people being normal because you're like, everything's crazy, just go and live your life and be like, oh, this is normality. Sleep on your bed and go, oh, I don't live in an apartment suite at the top of a block of flats. I live in a normal house.
Also,
just feed your fish, Liam, and be like, I have fish. Who has fish? That's normal. Whoa.
Also, you know how you were saying about sleeping on the floor? I've only very recently stopped doing that.
Yeah, but you had a reason. These people just seem to sleep on the floor.
Hey, they might have had broken beds, we just didn't see that part of the story. We don't know.
Well, then that's more... I would have accepted that. I would have loved a scene where Ellie goes, Lawrence, when are we fixing our bed? And he goes, oh, we haven't got the money at the moment. Because at least then it would have made sense, as opposed to just the implication being they're too poor to have a bed, but Alan, who hasn't got a job, has a bed.
See, I just personally enjoyed spending... I like seeing these characters and being like, oh, look, here's more people that haven't got their shit figured out like me.
But go on the internet. We're all there.
Yeah, but I like films, Jack.
Yeah, I like games. I like games, but I wouldn't play a game where I just played through a normal person's life except The Sims. But that's not normal because I can get abducted by aliens.
Even so, it's quite normal.
No, I make my guy far too sexy and then make him sleep with all the women in town.
Okay, well that's not normal.
Exactly, my guy is not normal.
But have I done sufficient job of explaining to you why I like it? Do you understand a little bit?
I think I understand why you like it.
Okay.
Do you understand why I hated it?
Oh yeah, like I've said before going into it, like
you did say you thought
idea.
I'd not like it, and then I said, well, I assume I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
You were right.
Again, not trying to be pretentious about this, but it is not a film for, it's not really a genre. It's more of a movement, which is 100% a film snobby thing to say, but still.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I completely understand that it is not easily accessible to people.
No, it really isn't.
Like, you have to be definitely a certain type of person to enjoy this sort of thing. The other thing that I find with this is I find these films super inspiring.
But yeah, go on.
Because I feel like if these films can be made, talking about what they talk about and the way they're done, there's literally nothing stopping me from making a film like this.
No, that's true, there isn't.
Like, it feels like, you watch Die Hard, yeah, and you're like, fuck, there is no way I could make a film like that. But you watch something like this, you're like, yeah, I could have a go at that. I
don't know if that's a good thing, though, or a bad thing.
I'm going to take the positive outlook and say it's good.
I don't know. I'm still convinced. It's like, I was talking about modern art earlier and the comparison there, and like, I honestly, I believe this wholeheartedly. I don't think that maybe there are people now that do modern art that are genuinely like, I'm trying to make a point or I'm trying to show something, and maybe it's the same with like modern mumblecorers. Yeah. But I honestly believe that the people that found these things, so like the first guy that did modern art, I think they're all laughing and just being like, I can't believe people have fallen for this.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah, I genuinely. Like, maybe not the original pop art, not pop art, modern art, because that comes from pop art and they actually tried and did stuff.
Yeah.
It's the things like, there was a canvas in the Tate Modern when I went there that just has a slash down the middle of it. That's it. A guy cut a canvas.
Yeah.
And it got put in a museum. And I was like, really?
But if let's say, somehow, some historical document was unearthed and it revealed that the Bible was written 100% as a practical joke, that does not detract from the value that people bring to it.
No, and that's fine. But it can still piss me off.
That's true. Do you feel like, after watching something like this, do you feel like there's a story to be told between like your experiences or maybe the experiences you've had with friends where, you know, it's not outrageous. It's not like the sort of Hollywood story, but it's maybe on a more personal level. It's more about a kind of a relationship.
No, I think you could make a story about most people. I just don't think many people would watch it.
No, but
and I think that's maybe
okay.
the difference. I don't know if it is. I think if you know that someone's not going to watch, like, I don't know.
Well, no, because it's like this podcast. We know that most people probably won't listen to it, but that's not why we do it. We do it for the small, teeny, tiny amount that do.
Yeah, but I don't charge people £2 to rent it on Amazon.
Not yet.
And that's what the Mumblecore dickheads do.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not making money on this podcast that I know not a lot of people listen to.
Not yet.
No, but that's the thing. I wouldn't until we knew it was financially viable, and even then, it wouldn't be the people paying. It would be like advertisers and stuff.
But what if
I paid to watch that film, Liam? I paid for them to show me what I could have been doing with 2 hours of my life.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're right, because I could have done better. I'd have had more fun than them.
I don't think you could find a girl willing to say that she finds you attractive.
I think I could if I was given the budget they had. I don't know what budget Mutual Appreciation got. If someone gave me that money,
it was probably like maybe a couple of thousand.
I reckon if someone gave me a couple of thousand and went, cool, you've got, so let's say the time frame of that movie is maybe like a month.
Yeah.
So I'd say give me a week,
okay,
£2,000, and I bet I could find a girl to say, oh, I think you're attractive.
Without having to pay her?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like you could easily do that if you're like, here's £2,000.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to do that, yeah.
Now here's the thing, Jack. Why don't we film that, and we've just got a Mumblecore on our hands?
Well, because you've got to give me £2,000.
I can't afford to.
I know.
Maybe 20?
It's very low.
Take her to Nando's.
Maybe we should. Maybe this is like we should try and do, is at some point film our own Mumblecore film.
Honestly, I would be so excited to do that.
Okay.
Because I really do feel like, not even as an exercise in quality, just as an experiment in can this be something that we can do.
What if we find out we can, though? It'd piss me off so much.
But I feel like...
What if people loved it? What if we made a Mumblecore film and everyone that loved Mumblecore loved it? It was like, this is the best example of Mumblecore ever. And I would hate it, Liam.
I would love that.
I'd have to go to cons. Do they have conventions?
But they have film festivals.
Ugh.
So that's...
I'd go to them and they'd be like, oh, I just totally get what you were saying. And I'll be like, I wasn't saying anything. I just wanted to get a shot of a guy pooing.
Now, again, this might be my ignorance, but I know in America at least, there's, particularly with the film schools and whatnot, there's a big movement with independent, sort of low budget, the student films and like student film festivals and stuff. Like, I've seen a small handful of that kind of thing. Not too aware that we really have that over here so much in the same way.
Well, what? Yeah, maybe not.
But I feel like...
I think we do. We have an independent movie scene.
Yeah, we do. I feel like...
I don't know if it's as much funded, like, created by students, per se.
Yeah. But I feel like, at least with the Mumblecore stuff, what seems to have happened is these films have given certain directors a good starting off point. And I'd be very curious for you to maybe, at some point, as a fun exercise, we'll pick a Mumblecore director, we'll watch their first film and their most recent film, where they've actually been given a budget.
I'll do that when you finish the series of anime.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Because that could be an interesting experiment, I think, to see how that style changes once they have money behind them.
Okay, yeah, I'd kind of be interested in that as well.
Yeah, like, so there's a Mumblecore director who did a fuck ton of Mumblecore films, a guy called Joe Swanberg.
Okay.
I really wasn't a fan of most of his films. And then he did a film that you might have even heard of called Drinking Buddies. It's got Olivia Wilde in it, Anna Kendrick, Ron Livingston.
Oh, okay.
And the guy from New Girl.
Oh, okay.
Jake something.
Yep.
It definitely has its roots in Mumblecore, but it's 100% more of an independent, kind of American independent, the sort of thing you'd expect from that label, like in the vein of Little Miss Sunshine or something.
Right, got you.
And genuinely really enjoyed the film. Hated all of his Mumblecore stuff, but really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
So I think it would be interesting to see how their style does change with a budget.
Alright, well maybe we'll do that in the future then.
Yeah, maybe if we make our own Mumblecore film, someone will be like, that's good, and then eventually we'll get a budget to make a real film.
We'll call it Jack and Liam's BDSM Adventures.
I think we could probably get the budget to make that without having to go through any loopholes or anything, just maybe contacting the right people.
I wouldn't know because I don't know how much bondage gear is because I don't own any.
Oh, it's expensive.
See, that's the issue.
But It depends how legit you want to go. We could just pick up rope real cheap. In this film that you've just pitched, what's the story?
I'm not sure.
Because I feel like that's something.
It's probably about 75% sex.
Yeah, but like, so it's Jack and Liam's bondage adventure, right?
Yeah.
Now,
it feels like it's a comedy.
Well, my concern is
assumedly it's two people stumbling into a position where they end up like maybe they both have to become. It's one of those wacky sort of films where they've got mistaken identity,
right?
And they've been assumed that they're two doms who have come to a got it. They're two guys.
Yep.
They turn up at a hotel.
Okay.
They get mistaken for there are two famous doms.
Okay.
Who are meant to have come to this convention where there's a lot of sub women.
Yep.
They both see these women. They're like, oh, some very sexy ladies. Maybe we should go along with this. And they end up finding true love. One of them does. The Jack character finds true love, and the Liam character finds out that he'd be a great dom.
I think we could.
I would watch that film.
Yeah, I think we could film that quite easy.
There we go, sorted.
We'd probably need to hire some actresses with certain talents.
Yeah, maybe.
How much sex is in this film?
Now that I've actually pitched it, less than I originally thought. But there's definitely sex scenes, but they're not, they're not full on.
So with this film, how much like actual porn is there in it?
None. There's no porn.
Okay.
And I know that's going to disappoint you, but there's sexy scenes. It has a content warning.
How much screen time does the Jack and Liam characters share?
Is in both on at the same time?
Yeah.
Probably a fair amount. There's got to be like scenes of them talking and shit.
But then, while they're fully dressed or not?
Yeah.
Okay,
I imagine there's like I imagine there's a very early scene where they awkwardly involved in some situation where both of them are wearing like full on leather harnesses and shit, and they both are very awkwardly like, what the hell are we doing?
Okay.
And there's obviously a scene where the Jack character wants to leave and tries to leave,
but the Liam character stops him for some reason.
Wants to keep fucking.
Right.
They won't let them stay if both doms aren't there.
Okay. So I think the next step is you go to Soho and start pricing up costumes.
Got it. Sorted.
We'll make. So this isn't a mumblecore. This is a different project.
It sounds like it's not a mumblecore anymore.
Yeah. Maybe we could start our own genre. Mumble whore?
Oh my god, how is that not a genre? Mumble whore. They're mumblecore films, but they're about sex.
Done.
Let's start it. It's a movement. We're doing it.
Fantastic. Mutual appreciation out of 5.
1.
That's higher than I was expecting.
I was going to give it 0.5, but I've given it a 1. I'm not sure why.
Maybe I talked you around.
No. I think maybe for the Lawrence character.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd say 3.5 out of 5.
I don't know. A 1 for me is like, don't go and see this, people. If you didn't watch it before this episode, don't go and see it.
I think after listening to us talk about it, they'll 100% have a good idea if it's something that they would want to see or not.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we've covered like the two different.
Yeah, I think we actually did quite a good job this time.
I think we did. Yeah,
we
didn't fall out.
No, we didn't. We had quite a rational discussion.
Yeah, it's weird.
We've kept
feels weird having a normal discussion.
We've kept it in a good timing.
We have. I'm weirded out. What's happening?
What are we doing next time?
In 2 weeks or on the next episode, however you want to use your time frame, we're going to be talking about No Man's Sky, which came out last week.
It did.
But so we're going to be like a bit delayed on it by the time you hear it. But it'll be interesting because it's one of the most anticipated games on PS4.
Yeah, and it's unlike the other games we've done in the past. It's not like a multiplayer game.
No,
we both have
our
own very unique, very individual experiences to this game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
More so than any other game.
Yeah, how exciting.
You can tune in then for that. I've been Liam Underwood.
I've been Jack Kempster. If you want to get in contact with us, tweet us at nerdonnerd or email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, why not? Do it. Come on, it'd be fine. You just have to find us first, and that's the real challenge. That's the difficult bit.
We're like a little puzzle.
Yeah, but if you can unlock that puzzle, there'll be riches galore in store for you.
Yep.
You whore.
Okay, well, let's not insult them.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take it back if you subscribe.
Fair enough. There you go. That's the deal, listeners.
So, bye.
Bye.